Hi guys, welcome back to another PowerShell tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about if statements. My friend that works in the IT field asked me a few questions about if statements and adding them to a script. So I figure I'd make a simple tutorial video of working with if statements, and then later on we'll make another script that's a little bit more complex with more if statements, nested if statements. There's also switches that work like if statements. They keep the code looking a little bit more cleaner, and they have a little bit different functionality. You can do different things with them. Actually, in one of my tutorials, when I made menu creation, I used a switch in there. So if you want to check that out, it's a good video to watch. So I want to keep things kind of simple today. So we'll work with services on a server. So I got my services up. We're going to work with the Windows Update service, the one everybody knows. So within PowerShell, there's a command that everyone knows about, most people know about. It is called get service. So when you do get service, it gets every single service. And one thing you gotta remember is this is not displaying string values. This is not text. Each of these items are their own object. So this is an object, Active Directory Web Services, and it has different states. You know, it has a display name, it has a name, it has a status. So each one of these items are objects, and we want to focus on one object. So if we look through this, and you can see how things are out of order, it's not in order for us, so we can clear our screen. And one thing you can do is you can do get sort service and pipe it to sort object, and then you can do like dash descending, and now it shows all the objects in descending order. And if you don't want it to scroll down the screen like this, because our service is way up here that we want to look at, we can clear the screen again, and there's another command you can pipe out to, which is more, and it displays things and page values. So it stops, and you can just keep scrolling down or exit out of this. So we want Windows Update. So we'll look through here, and here it is at the top, Windows Update. And like I said, it has different, since it's its own object, it has different items that relate to it. So it has a display name, has a name, it has a status, it has also other values. So if we were to open this up in properties, it also has all these other values within it that aren't displayed. So these PowerShell just shows the main things that most people want to look at. You can pull other properties by using other commands within get service, and we can get into that a little bit later. But for right now, we're just sticking to the basics. So in here, you can do, log on to. You can add an account in here for a service account. So if you're updating service account passwords, you could use PowerShell to do that and do it remotely on multiple servers. Just make sure you don't keep the passwords in clear text in your scripts. You can change the state: automatic delay, automatic, manual, disabled. You can stop, start the service, pause it, resume it. You can do all of this with PowerShell. And there's commands for all that. If you look, there's stop, service, and then ask for a name. Another thing you can do is you can do get command, and then you can do noun. So you're just looking for the noun of the command, and you can do service star, and now it shows all of the commands with services. So get service, new service, restart service, resume service, set service, start service. Thought I said start service twice. Stop service and suspend service. So these are all the commands that you could do with services. It's a good, cool thing to know. You can also do the same thing with modules. So you can get command dash module, and then you can type in Active Directory. Put quotes around it. Actually, we can just put a star at the end. Boom. There's all of our Active Directory commands in that module. So this is some cool things to look at. Since we're going off subject, we'll get back to our if statements. So let's say if this service is running, we want to stop it. So like I said, we can do get service, and then we'll go ahead and sort it and descending order. I'll scroll up to the top because I forgot my more, And then we got Windows Update is the display name, and the name is this right here. So I like using the name value just because it doesn't have spaces in it, and if you have a space, you have to put quotes around it in your script. So we'll go ahead and open up Notepad++, working with if statements, and we'll go ahead and just paste that name in there for now, just so we have it. And we'll actually store it in a variable. Let's just go ahead and just make a variable called service name space equals space, and then we'll put this in quotes since it's a string. So we have that, and if we take that right now, so we'll take that code out of there, and we'll go ahead and clear our screen, and we'll paste it in PowerShell. So now if we type in $service name, there's the name of our service. So we could actually do get service dash name, and we can type in that name, WUAUSERV, and it pulls that object. And we can also use our variable we made, service name. It pulls the same thing. Alright. And let's refresh this real fast. So the service was stopped, the screen wasn't refreshed. So since the service is stopped, as you can see here, it was saying stopped, but it showed running because the screen wasn't refreshed. So since it stopped, we'll have our script started. So as you can see, we have status. So we could put, there's one cool thing you can do in PowerShell. You can put this in parentheses, and you can do get service name $service name, put it in parentheses, and basically it's kind of like a math equation. So it does this first. And what's cool about doing this is if you just want to return a single value, so let's say we just want to return the status, you could do dot status. Boom, it says stopped. You could do name, and it says the name of it. You can do display name, and it brings you display name. So that's one cool thing that I like about when I'm working with variables, and if I just want to pull just one single item from an object, that's the way I like doing it. So now that you know that, can you think of a way how we can use that in our script? So we'll probably just do the name, service name, because all three of these items are valuable. So yeah, we can use the status because we want to know if it's stopped or not, but we also want to use these other values, and it already gets them by default. We don't need anything extra, so we'll work with that. So what we'll do is we'll say, first thing we want to do is we want to get the service. So we'll just go ahead and type in the command get service name, and then we'll do service name, and we'll just go ahead and copy this out of PowerShell. We'll paste it in our text pad. There you go. So now we know this code works because we done tested it. So we have our name, we have the service. So now this is where we're going to do if statements. So what we'll do is we'll store this information into a variable. We'll call it like service info. So if we run this in PowerShell, basically it puts this information into this variable. So now if we type in $service info, brings back information. Now just like I was saying up here, you can do this parentheses and do that. You can do same thing with variables. So if we do service info dot status stopped. So that's how we're going to use our if statement. So copy that. I'm going to say if, and then parentheses, and then we'll paste our what we copied, service status dash eq for equals, and we'll put our quotes. And we want it if it equals stopped. So we'll put stopped. If it equals stopped, and then you want to put your script block. So put your brackets, and you can enter it down. You can do it all in one line. I like entering it down, like to keep it clean. And I also like to tab my information inside the if statement over, so you can kind of tell this is inside this if statement. So we'll say if it's stopped, we'll say write output, and we can just put dollar. So this may do something, and I'll show you a trick to it. So service info.status statements. We'll do status. And then we'll put some text in front of it. This service, or we'll use our other variable too. The service name is currently, and then this should show the status. So if we run this, it should say this service name, so the name of the service, and then is currently, and then it should say the status. And we can even take it to the next level and use a display name. So we can do service info dot display name. So now to show the display name instead of this, so people can actually see what they're working with. So we can copy that, we'll paste it in here, we'll hit enter, and this is what I was wanting to show you. So you see how it says system service process status. So when you are using this type of code within a string, there's a special way to do it. So if you ever have a variable and you're doing a dot and then you're calling one of the states of the object, one of the areas of the object, you need to put this around it. You want to put a $sign and parentheses around it. So now if we run this again, we'll keep this one the same so you can see the difference. We'll paste it in there. Copy it again, paste it. So now you see it says stopped instead of this. And that's just because as the dot status. So you need to put a dollar parenthesis and then an ending parenthesis. So we'll do that on the other one too. So dollar parenthesis and parenthesis, and let's copy all of this and paste it in. We'll clear our screen, and then we'll hit enter. The Windows updates is currently stopped. So we can add service in here. Service. Alright. There's other things you can do. You can use write host. And write host it's a little bit slower, but you can do write host. And you can do like hello. And then you can actually do foreground color green. So since it stopped, we'll use red. So you could do this right here, and then you can change that to write host, and at the end, just pin that at the end, and we'll take our code, we'll paste it in, and it says the Windows Update service is currently stopped. So now that it's stopped, we want to enable the service. So now we'll add our next set of code. So we'll do start, and you can do it this way, and if you're not certain or you don't like typos or you like tab completion, you can just type it in here, start service, service info. You don't need the dash name because that's the first thing it looks for, but to help people that are reading your code, it's better to put dash name in there. So start service dash name, and then we'll clear this out. And then you can even say, you can put write output. I'll show you a thing about write output and write host and a difference, like a big difference between them two, just to make your code a little bit faster. So write output, we'll say starting service, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll do dollar parenthesis dollar service info dot display name, and then it starts a service, and then you can even say, another write output, copy that, and we'll say Windows Update service has been started. And we'll copy this. Now, sometimes when you put code in here, like this, it may display stuff on the screen. I'll show you another way around that too. So we'll Control C, we'll clear our screen, we'll paste it in, and we have an error. Ah, this is common. So I didn't say the name, I put service info in there. So we'll go back to our code. We'll change this to service name. Common mistake. That's why it's always good to test your code in development, not production. There it goes. The Windows Update service is currently stopped. Start service Windows Update. Windows Updates has been started. And then we'll go in here and we'll refresh our window. And now it's running. Do the same thing for stopped. So there is a command. I'll show you this. Some people don't know about this. It's really valuable, especially when you get in big scripts. So, for instance, I wrote scripts that take 30 minutes to run, and you want to try to figure out what makes it take 30 minutes. How can I shorten the span? What can I do to make the code more efficient? And there's a bunch of research you can do, but there's this awesome command out there. It's called measure. I want to say measure command. There it is. So I think there's yep, so measure command, and then I believe we'll get help on it. Believe my help is updated. Yes. So syntax measure command, there's expression, and then you put your script block, and then you can do input objects and common parameters. So we're just going to worry about the expression part. And since it's the first one, just like I said, get service. So if you do help get service, if you see how the name is first, remember earlier I said you don't need the name because it automatically looks for it. Same with this one. Measure command is going to look for expression first. So you don't need to specify this, but we can. So we're going to do that. So we're going to go ahead and do measure command. Measure command, and then we're going to do expression. And then we're going to copy that. And then what we'll do is we'll go in here. We'll put it up here, and what we'll do is we'll put an opening bracket here. And we want to measure this whole command. We'll do a closing bracket here. And we can tab all this over so we know it's within the measure command if you want. So now if we run this is really neat. You're going to like this. So paste it in. Boom. It tells you how long the script took to run. So it tells you how many milliseconds. So what we'll do is we'll copy this real fast. Actually, we're not gonna highlight copy. We're using PowerShell, so we're gonna use PowerShell. So what we'll do is we will go back to our script and we'll pipe this to out file, and we'll go to, let's see where we want to go. C/temp. Nope. Here we'll create C temp with PowerShell. New item directory. Let's see. New item. It's item type directory, I think. Let's see. It's been a while since I've done new item. Well, I'll be able to show you. We'll just do help. New item. This is good because you get used to seeing how to use help, which helps you through the whole day. So item type, value, force, credentials. You can also do -examples. Just get the examples. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like my help's up to date. So we'll go ahead and open PowerShell on my laptop, and we'll do help. You can do get help also. New as item -examples. There we go. So you can just see the examples. So here's item type file, item type directory. That's why I tried typing in, it wasn't working. So we'll go ahead and do that real fast. New item type directory path C/temp. Boom, created. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do C/temp. There we go. Alright, so we'll copy this bad boy out of here. go back here, out file here, and we'll call it script time.txt. Alright, so that's going to output that information to a file. Let's clear my screen. Boom. So now if we go to C temp script file txt, here we go. Alright, so we have our time here. Now this is what I was going to show you about the write host and write output. So let's go in our script and take out host, and we'll do output. And get start service, output. Alright, so let's run this now. We'll change our file name to, we'll just do dash no host. There we go. We'll copy this code. I don't know how big of a difference this is going to be just because it's a smaller script, but I know there's going to be a difference. And you'll be surprised, there's some things out there that are faster. So some, write host could be faster, but from what I've read online and all my experience, output is better. So, look at that. Ticks. Took way less time. So that's one thing you can do to see what's more efficient, And then, of course, writing to the screen takes time. So let's say you go here and you don't need to see this information, Maybe you just want to see starting service. This was just to test your code, so you can just, comment it out. So we'll keep starting service, and service has been started. And we'll check that out. So we'll go ahead and change our file name one more time, and we'll put 2. Just so we can see the difference. Paste it in there. C/temp / script time host 2. Compare them now. So that's host 2. There's no host 2. So look at that. Somehow commenting that out made it faster. I mean slower. So just play around with that. You'll be surprised about the output. And when you're running these commands, if your server is being pounded, I'm pretty sure that may impact it too. If you have no RAM left or CPU. But yeah, that's a way to make your scripts more efficient and faster. This video went a little bit over than I wanted. Got a little bit excited and ran off course. But of course, if you can think of anything, want to make anything better, please let me know. And comment below and send me an email if you like. And I'll be gladly to help you out. Have a good night.